Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku will be taking on Moro in the next chapter of Dragon Ball Super. We saw at the end of the last chapter, the Angel Mirror sacrificed himself to accomplish two things. First of all, to use some sort of sealing technique to crack the gems on Moro and basically prevent his 7-3 copying abilities, but also to unlock Goku's Mastered Ultra Instinct. Mirror said that Goku needed a trigger in order to swap from Ultra Instinct Sign or Omen, whatever you want to call it, into Mastered Ultra Instinct. It's something that he simply cannot do alone. It's something that has to be brought out by rage or emotion. Now, as I discussed as the chapter was going on, this seems somewhat similar to a standard Super Saiyan transformation. The Saiyan gets really angry, typically at the death of someone, a loved one. The anger builds up inside of them and explodes, and they transform into a Super Saiyan. Contrary to what we learned in the Dragon Ball Super anime, the Ultra Instinct technique was learned by training your body to move on its own, training your limbs so that they can move faster than you can even think. That was the major flaw of Goku and Vegeta. Essentially, it takes too long for your brain to think and react to someone. So if you could train your limbs and your body per se to basically fight on its own, if you're able to get to that level, essentially you will have learned Ultra Instinct, and with it, Goku achieved a new form. However, here in the manga, Mirror is saying that Goku needs a trigger through his emotions in order to achieve Mastered Ultra Instinct, which he didn't necessarily have in the Tournament of Power. Now, obviously, the manga and the anime are two different continuities, but in the Tournament of Power, they still follow the premise of learning how to move your body on its own in the manga. Even Master Roshi kind of used Ultra Instinct a little bit in the Tournament of Power in the manga. So this is basically a new element. It's basically, is it a retcon or is this just an additional piece of information that we have to understand regarding the Ultra Instinct transformation and technique? Maybe this is the form side of it, where the technique side is learning and training your body to move on its own. Regardless, what's going to happen is Goku obviously is going to pop off here. The last panel that we saw in this most recent chapter was Goku starting to transform. It's very clear here that he's going to awaken into Mastered Ultra Instinct at the loss of Mirror. Now, the thing is, it isn't necessarily purely out of anger and rage and emotion. As Mirror described during his training with Goku, rage, grief, joy, those are strong emotions that can translate to prodigious power, just like your Super Saiyan transformation. And Goku says, yeah, that one's triggered by rage. But Mirror says, but this technique you're after is the opposite. As we take a look back in the manga during the Tournament of Power, Goku says that all I've done is get rid of unnecessary emotions. And he says, right now, my heart is as calm as the gentle streams of Mount Pazu. So the basis of this is that essentially he has to have that anger, that swell up of emotions that you would get from a standard Super Saiyan transformation. And instead of succumbing to that anger and rage and exploding, he has to essentially release all of his emotions. He has to feel that build up, but then let it go. And in doing so, he will obtain Mastered Ultra Instinct. As we states, don't allow your mind to control your movement. Every part of your body must judge and act on its own. So if Goku is filled up with rage, he's going to be reacting on that rage. And essentially, in order to achieve this level of Mastered Ultra Instinct, he's got to get rid of that completely and entirely calm himself and his emotions, which is obviously going to be very difficult for him after his new sensei Mirror, or friend, whatever you want to call him, has just disappeared, basically saving Goku and the rest of the company. You know it's inside Goku to want to just go completely berserk, but I don't think that that would be enough to take on Moro. Whether or not he just took some damage and the 7-3 gems on him have been cracked, it's still not going to be enough. Now let's talk about Ultra Instinct Omen and how it's fought against Moro so far. Now, when Goku first came back to Earth and he used Ultra Instinct Omen, he started to have the upper hand in the beginning of the fight. He definitely gave some surprise hits to Moro and took him off guard a little bit. But as the fight progressed, Moro continually upgraded his strength, and eventually he just overwhelmed Goku, who just lost. Ultra Instinct Omen is strong. It's stronger than Super Saiyan Blue, but it was not enough for even the unfused Moro. Now Moro is fused with 7-3, and even though he doesn't have the 7-3 copying ability, so he can't copy Ultra Instinct, he still has the massive power boost that he's gained from his fusion with 7-3, and he also still has his magic. So nothing has been done yet so far to counteract his magic, but I think there's still time for some of the other characters that are going around here, like Majin Buu, to play a part in that, to possibly steal his magic or stop it somehow. Now, the battle between Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku and Moro is about to take place, and I think they're going to show us here just exactly how strong Mastered Ultra Instinct really is. Now, in the Tournament of Power in the anime, we saw Goku Mastered Ultra Instinct. At first, he just seemed just absolutely ridiculous, but as the fight progressed, Jiren was still able to land a lot of hits. Whether or not his dodging capability was supposed to be unimaginable, he still ended up taking hits and taking damage, so it's not invincible by any means. He ultimately won that fight, but the toll on his body was overwhelming and he collapsed to his knees, and basically he ended up losing essentially just because he couldn't hold it on that long. In the manga, as Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is smacking around Jiren, he eventually is starting to struggle just a tiny bit, and this is because Whis says he may have achieved Mastered Ultra Instinct, but Goku hasn't trained enough to wield it properly. And so I believe that this training that Goku has done with Miras has given him the ability to both wield Master Ultra Instinct properly and probably give him more stamina. Like, he won't get phased out and completely crushed by the overwhelming god power of Ultra Instinct like it showed in the anime. In the manga, Mastered Ultra Instinct vs. Jiren was very brief. It only happened in about half of one chapter. So this new version of Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku in the manga, due to Miras' training, should be unbelievably additionally powerful. Further, the entire reason that Miras and Goku wanted to learn and master Ultra Instinct outside of battle was in order to fight Moro, Goku had to be so fast that he could dodge Moro's magic to steal his energy. Now, for whatever reason, Moro hasn't really tried to steal people's energy since he's fused. I guess his battle power has just gone up so high that he hasn't really felt that's necessary, but regardless, even though Moro has that magic, Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku will be way too fast for Moro to absorb his energy, unless something happens to Goku, which I really don't think it will. So we should just see this final climactic battle. I'm guessing it's either going to be brute force, where they're just slugging it out, but I don't really think so. I think Goku's going to transform, and he's really going to dominate Moro. Really, really, really bad. Something may happen to Goku. I still hope that Vegeta actually comes in and does something here. He still has the Force Spirit Fission technique, so it's very possible that Goku maybe loses, maybe does critical damage to Moro, then maybe Vegeta comes in and just lands a punch, because they haven't really shown Vegeta too much in this last chapter. Maybe they're trying to keep him under the radar so that at the very last second he can come up and just land a sucker punch on Moro, which would defuse him and would probably bring out the old feeble Moro again, who still though has his magic, but who knows what's going to happen there. I think it's pretty clear that we're reaching the climax of this arc that has gone on way too long, if you ask me. So I'm pretty sure that in the next chapter or two, this entire arc will be over. Master Ultra Instinct more than likely will take the W. I'm sure it's going to be some really cool poses out of artist Toyotaru to show Goku just doing some wicked combo attacks, just completely crushing and decimating Moro. And then he'll collapse to his knees, and Jacko will, I guess, steal him back up in the Galactic Patrol prison. And that'll probably be the end. The end of this entire arc is basically progressing to the point where Goku is now able to just pop on Mastered Ultra Instinct at will. I think that's going to be the conclusion, a long, drawn-out battle, an incredibly long arc, just to give Goku the ability to turn this on like a light switch, basically like he does with standard Super Saiyan. Now, the thing is, Vegeta's going to be left in the dust completely. I mean, he got Force Spirit Fission technique, he got some spirit control, which really didn't seem to help too much in terms of his power gain, even though it looked like it was from his training. In the end of the day, he didn't really seem to get a power boost. So Vegeta's left in the dust here, and Goku is going to be able to turn on Master Ultra Instinct at will. you know, what's going to happen from here on? I mean, where can they really go from this? But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku is just going to win this entire fight in the next chapter coming up? Or do you think that Moro still has some tricks up his sleeve and this arc still may go on another 5 chapters or so, which is definitely a possibility. I'm Mastar. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching the video. Make sure you like the video, and I'll talk to you soon with another one.